Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
We are so blessed to have this ministry available to us. Our beloved Senior Minister Michael Gott has set the tone for this upwardly progressive movement of spirit that is emanating and escalating at Unity of Houston. And we are here to facilitate the attraction and the equal movement with those who are near, with those who come to participate, with those who live in the area. And in many, many ways, we are having a major impact even when we don't really realize it. And I do understand the impact of this ministry because just 6 days ago, I could not get out of the bed. I was so ill. And was certain that I was on my way to death. And after letting the ministers know and even deciding I would not be able to do this today, I reached into that deep place of my being and I said, God, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say and to whom? I'm willing to do your will. Just tell me in a way that I will understand. And with that help and with the support of my amazing son, Stephen, I began to open this very tiny bit of light. And I was determined, I have got to get out of this bed because, God, I'm not finished yet. I know that I am here, that I am doing what you guided me to do. So what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? And to whom? I'm willing to do your will. Just tell me in a way that I will understand. But you got to get me off this bed. Because it wouldn't be too cool doing a talk from the bed. And I began to pray, and my son has been so helpful to me. He's very soon to be a Unity minister himself. He's almost finished. And he's been my mentor. He's been my minister through this. And I realized that some of this is greatly aligned with something that I have been tapping into since the pandemic started. And I was determined, and many of you who know me know this is true, I was determined that there was something significant about this pandemic. Because in the beginnings of it, and through much of it, there was a lot of rage and anger and shootings and violence, and people were hating each other, and it was breakdown after breakdown after breakdown. But my beloveds, you know breakdown always precedes breakthrough, right? So even though it was not a pretty picture, I had to look beyond what was happening then and say, God, what's possible? Because right now we are in fear. But how do we go from fear to faith? And so I became determined to utilize my energy for me, for my life, for those around me, to set forth a process of possibilities for going from fear to faith. Now let me just kind of give you a little bit more inside stuff on fear and faith. Fear represents false evidence appearing real. Would you say that with me? False evidence appearing real. Because you say, you realize that we are powerful beings. We were made in the image and likeness of God, and therefore we were given the ability to facilitate the things that God facilitates, and for us to do them right here, right now, on the earthly plane. Are you with me? While the overall energy that we call God is facilitating it around, over, through that energetic power that makes up this plane. But it wasn't easy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say it was hard. Because otherwise, people would not have been killing each other continually, day by day. There wouldn't have been this rage. But beloveds, breakdown always precedes breakthrough. Say that. Breakdown always precedes breakthrough. And so when we come to the realization that we are perpetually in an energy of breakdown, when we can come to that place of saying, okay, what is this for? Not why is this happening? That's a victim question. What is this for? Because our lives are purposeful and have meaning. Say that with me. Our lives are purposeful and have meaning. We're not the victims of random acts of good luck or bad luck or being in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time. And when we tap into that awareness that our lives are purposeful and have meaning, we begin to draw to us from the realm of energy the concepts that lead us to understanding what that meaning is. And what I discovered that it appeared had occurred that was causing all the violence, all the rage. It was based on a fear of there's something going on, but I don't know what it is. There's something going on, but I don't know what to do with it. There's something going on. How do I get it out? How do I participate in shifting what's happening in our world? And so, therefore, as a collective, we understood there was something for us to do and to be. And the key to that was, what then is it? There's a scripture in the Bible, and some people don't like to hear it, that says, "Know ye not that ye are gods?" Therefore, you are made in that image and likeness, and you have the ability to facilitate what that divine nature can do. And so what I decided to do was to begin teaching and doing a workshop from fear to faith, from false evidence appearing real to finding alignment in the heart. Because what was happening, my beloveds, was not that God had left us. God didn't go anywhere. Or that the good had disappeared. Nope, it was still there. But fear had caused us to believe that we no longer had a pathway to the higher possibility. Are you with me? That's all that was going on. It caused us to misperceive. There were people who were saying we're being punished. What if we're being awakened? What if we're being uplifted? What are we being renewed, re-energized, and revitalized so that we can step forward and bring this planet to the infinite possibilities? That people who are God can do. And so I began to look at the fear. I began to look at how we were raging, how we were looking for the things that caused us to feel anger, hatred, rage, and so forth. And it wasn't just to be mean, it was because the energy of it was just so strong. I don't know about any of you, but I could feel it. I could feel it. It was as if it was hanging over us, ready to do this. But because breakdown always precedes breakthrough, I looked to see what was the false evidence that was getting us to believe that there was nothing we could do about any of this. And so what I realized was that we were seeing something that caused us to let go of the power of our being and to allow the greatness in which we were made, in which we were created, to disappear. And I'm not saying it wasn't hard, okay? I'm not saying that at all. I was down on the floor too. I was crying. I felt that I was being pushed down into a hole. No, I'm not going to catch on fire.
You're already on fire.
And I figured if I could find a way out, maybe I could tell other people how to get out too, right? For example, if you're in a house and it's on fire, and there are other people in apartments around you, and you have figured out how to get out, you wouldn't just run out the door, you would try to support others in finding their way out too, right? And so that was my determination, and I created that workshop. That I started traveling and speaking on healing the pain of the pandemic. Because I knew that all we were experiencing was that level of pandemonium that was eating away at the God of our being. That we were allowing the fear, that false evidence appearing real, to remove the power that we are. Because we are power. In the hood, we call ourselves bad mama jammas. Because as God's own creations in its image and likeness, there is nothing we cannot do. There is nothing you cannot do. There is nothing you cannot be. You came equipped with all of the energies and capabilities to stand up, pull up, and to rise up. It's only that we've allowed ourselves to believe otherwise. I can't say that the news hasn't played a part in it. Because that's what they're supposed to report. They're supposed to report what's going on. They're not required to report what could be. But we, who have discovered some possibilities within us, already have the capability of discovering what's possible. And so how do we move from that fear and step into that faith? Well, the first thing we realize is that all these things that God has done, we have been taught and have the capability of doing. All it requires is that instead of continuing on that same path, that we just make a U-turn. That we have left behind the information that we needed in order to lift us up to the God aspect of our being. And that once we do that, we're halfway there already. Once we realize what we can do, I know many of you have been healed from serious illnesses, am I right? Many of you who have lost great things in your life have gotten back something even greater, am I right? Many of you who have thought that something went very bad, very wrong, and that you're never going to be where you used to be before have realized, no, I am beyond where I used to be before. My older brother Jesus said, what? These things I do, you can do, and even greater. And I don't think he would lie to us on purpose. Because he walked this earth and allowed himself to be crucified to show us what we could do. Am I right? So now we are on this upwardly progressive movement. And as I was looking at the Kwanzaa, and I realized we are now in a 7-year. This year is a number 7. How many of you know what number 7 is? is completion, fulfillment. So obviously, my beloveds, we are at the perfect time to begin to facilitate those things that we're being called to do, to be, to say, to carry out, to take us into that perfection. A 7-year is perfection. Number 7 is perfection. That's why there's 7 days in the week, not 8 or 9. Because that completes the week. Because it creates a perfect containment. It creates a perfect paradigm. Monday through Sunday. 7. And so now we are in the year where we are being prepared to rise up to the highest possibilities of our being. It means that we are being called to let go of the anger, the rage, the criticism, the condemnation, the judgment, the racism, the sexism, and to look at who we truly are. Made in the image and likeness of God. 7. These things I do, you can do, and even greater. 7. And so what are we being called to do now? To remove our eyes from what is not, to look at what is possible, and to look at what is. What is that we were given the ability to create, to uplift, to strengthen, to love, to increase. And so we are being called now to step into this inner sanctuary of our being. See, this is where it is. It's not out there. There's no out there, only in here, in here. Are you with me? Are you with me? Yes. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay? Because looking out there is what causes us to develop misperceptions. Because it looks pretty rough out there sometimes, right? And we see enough of that, it starts to have an impact on mind, body, spirit, and we begin to act as if it is the truth. But only God is the truth. Are you with me? Yes. I don't think God would be doing some of the stuff I've been seeing, but yeah. And so we are being called now. We're being called. You are being called to ministry. Some of you are being called to become ministers, but we are all being called to get into ministry. And that means ministering to all of our brothers and sisters, ministering to our nation, ministering to our neighborhoods, ministering to where we work, ministering to every place that we step into on a regular basis, and determining what needs to be brought in by you. I'm not talking about walking in and you know this person in your office or that person in your office is really mean and they're always in a bad mood, and you walk in that way. If you walk in that way every day, that's what you're going to get. But if you recognize that even those people are made in the image and likeness of God, I don't think, Jesus was lying to us. I don't think the Bible was lying to us. If we walk in there with that intention, want you to think about it for a minute. If we walk into the places where we run into people who are difficult, who are mean, who are bringing things down, and we bring it up. Hello? And our intention, our purpose is to lift it up, to remove the false evidence appearing real, and find alignment in the heart. So I want to invite you, if you will, if you're willing, to close your eyes for a moment. And just allow yourself to breathe in and out through the heart. Imagine that you are drawing the energy, the breath from your heart and sending it out. Breathe in through the heart. Send it out. Breathe in through the heart. Send it out. And as you continue to breathe in that manner, speak to the God of your being. Ask the question, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? And to whom would you have me say it? Align that with your heart. Align the energy of it. Imagine if you were doing this on a daily basis, moment by moment, step by step, having a determination to bring forth the power of God through you and out to all of your brothers and sisters. And to establish that power within this city, within this state, within this nation, within this world. Imagine. See the adults feeling lighthearted and lively and dancing around like children. Because the fear is gone. The hatred is gone. The anger is gone. And all they're feeling is love. Feel it. Feel it. And now visualize that love that's blossoming in your heart, moving out into your neighborhood. Send it up and down throughout the apartment complex or the houses, the grocery stores, the laundromats. See it. See it. Make it so, number one. Make it so. And now seeing it move out into the world. Seeing the light dancing in the eyes of people in every nation. Seeing adults laughing and dancing like children. And now see it permeating the universe. Permeating the universe. That every heart is finding alignment there with God and each other. See it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. For this is what you are being called for, my beloveds. To send this energy of love, of perfection, of divine alignment and upwardly progressive movement of spirit out into the world where people will come together to sing and dance and laugh and love. See it. Feel it. Know it to be possible. Because as the scripture says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And that divine Christ nature is strengthening us right now. So let us affirm this possibility and this power and our intention to carry this forward. Let's take a deep, deep, deep breath. Deep breath. Hold it. Breathe it out through the heart. Oh, it's taking place. It's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. Take another deep, deep, deep breath. Deep, deep, deep. Hold it. Breathe it out through the heart. Oh, yes. I see it. I feel it. I know it. I know it. And one last deep, 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 deep breath. And finding that alignment in the heart, send that breath down through that divinity that you are. And at the count of 3, we will open our eyes. We will align with our hearts. And we'll make the determination to walk with God. Let us begin to open our eyes. I'll walk with God from this day on. His helping hand I lean upon. This is my prayer, my humble plea. May the Lord be ever with
watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.